Canelo Alvarez and Charlo both weigh identically 167.4 pounds for their undisputed super middleweight title fight tomorrow night. I'm Paulie Malignaggi. This is Paulie TV. I tell you what, I thought Jamel weighed in a little bit heavier than I anticipated. We'll see how that plays out tomorrow night. I don't know what everybody else's thought was, but in our discussions at Pro Box TV with the other champs, I was discussing, I think it was Tim Bradley who made the point first before any of all of us, but he did say that he would expect that Jamel maybe weigh in light. Just because you can weigh in close to 168 doesn't mean that you should weigh that heavy, because really, you'll probably, your body's used to fighting at a lower weight class. You're used to getting in the ring a little bit lighter. So maybe Jamel would have come in like around the low 160s. And I thought that was actually, it made a pretty good point. I thought it was something that, to think about. And I thought maybe Jamel would come in a little bit lighter. Jamel, however, ends up weighing the same as Canelo Alvarez, 167.4 pounds. The thing about this is that Canelo is used to fighting at this weight. He's used to carrying around the extra weight. Listen, he's not the biggest super middleweight himself, but he's grown into the weight more at this point, and he got there little by little. That doesn't mean it doesn't affect him. I think part of the conditioning problems Canelo has late in fights is because he's carrying around so much weight on a small frame. Of course, he's a compact frame. He's a short, compact frame, and so he's got power. But ultimately, I think that's part of the reason why his conditioning is lacking late in fights sometimes. With Jamel, always entering the ring at 154 pounds, even if he puts on extra weight, I'm wondering now, because it's going to come down to that post-weigh-in diet. I mean, granted, also, remember, the weigh-ins now, the Vegas Commission and most of the commissions now do something that I don't agree with. They weigh the guys in off camera in the morning, so they have even more time to rehydrate. And then they do a ceremonial weigh-in in front of the public later on at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So that means by the time you get in the ring, you've had, probably over 36 hours to put on some weight. And to me, that's way too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, at that point, well, what's the point of making a weigh-in? Because you're making it further and further away from what the real weight should be. I get the whole day before weigh-in because, guys struggle to make weight, and fighting the same day as a weigh-in might hurt them. I can almost understand that because guys were getting hurt. But now you're separating it so much that it's almost becoming too much of a difference, to where now you're almost making a weigh-in pointless. I'm wondering what kind of weight Canelo will put on. Again, he's very strong, he's very compact, but he also has conditioning problems himself. Can Jamel even get to that point? Now he's a little bit heavier. He's a little bit heavier than I thought. Will this affect his mobility? Will this affect his speed, his sharpness? These are all things to keep in mind for the anticipated showdown tomorrow night. Super middleweight champion, the Canelo, super middleweight champion Canelo Alvarez takes on Charlo. I'm Paulie Malignaggi. This is Paulie TV. Let me know your predictions, your thoughts, and what you guys think of Jamel weighing in close to that super middleweight limit. I certainly did not expect it. You didn't think I was going to let you go without a prediction, did you? I got Canelo later round stoppage, maybe 9 or 10. I think the reason for this is, although I think Jamel is a better, niftier, classier boxer than Canelo, I think Canelo, his sense of timing is very good. I think Jamel uses his emotions a little bit too much at times, stays in the pocket a little too long to extend his combinations. He gets a little bit trigger happy, where instead of staying in the pocket for maybe a 3-4 punch combination, he'll stay in there for a 5, 6, or 7 punch combination. And I think that doing that a bit too much will eventually get him caught by Canelo. Canelo does a very good job of holding his position when you throw punches at him. He doesn't really put himself all out of position, moving all over the place when punches are coming at him, and therefore taking away his ability to punch back. He holds position very well, even if some of the shots may hit him or some of the shots may land on the gloves, whatever. And by holding that position, he's able to fire back right from where he's at. So you've got to be careful not to overstay your welcome. Jamel sometimes does that. He did it a lot in the Castano fight, the first fight. He adjusted it in the second fight. But again, he's an emotional guy. And Canelo is a guy who when you fight him, your emotions are going to be at their highest because you're fighting in front of the type of crowd that you've never fought in front of before. Canelo is used to this. Jamel has been in big fights. But when you fight a guy like Canelo, who's a generational fighter, it's a different kind of crowd. And so emotionally, it could affect you. I hope we get a good fight out of it. I think Jamel is a very, very good fighter. He's a very, very good boxer. But I think naturally the 2 weight class jump is a lot. The long layoff, coming off the long layoff, is a lot. And like I said, he'd have to fight in a manner that's so disciplined that we haven't seen yet. out of Jamel, and it would have to be against the most difficult opponent of his career, especially because this is also 2 weight classes up, and Canelo has big power at this weight class. I got a later round stoppage, 9 or 10 for Canelo Alvarez. But if Jamel can force the pace of Canelo, force this pace, and Canelo starts to slow down late in the fight, could get interesting. But I just don't know how much of a pace you can force now that you yourself have weighed in so heavy. Speaking of that being Jamel's weight. Paulie Malignaggi. This is Paulie TV.